Если ты занимаешься независимой политической деятельностью, то тебя могут посадить.
Alexei Navalny proved himself to be one of the greatest thorns in the side the Kremlin had seen in modern times.
Есть ли законная власть в Кремле? Кто здесь власть? Мы здесь власть!
A lawyer by education, he soon found purpose in fighting corruption, ultimately establishing his anti-corruption foundation in 2011. But it was with anti-government protests following that year's election that Navalny rose to prominence, even running for Moscow mayor 2 years later. He'd just been convicted for embezzlement at the time, in a trial many called politically motivated. It earned him a suspended sentence, and the fraud charge would come back to haunt him, seeing him barred from running in the 2018 presidential election. Throwing himself into his anti-corruption work, he would increasingly draw the authorities' ire.
Всем привет, судя по всему, у нас обыск. Видите, в дверь ломятся, камеры заклеены. И сейчас нам будут пилить дверь.
Hefty court fines would later see his foundation shut its doors. Then came the poisoning that drew the entire world's attention. Navalny was taken ill on a flight over Siberia. An emergency landing saved his life, and he was ultimately transferred to Germany, where scientists identified Novichok nerve agent behind his collapse. He vowed to return to Russia.
Те люди, которые сейчас обиделись на то, что они меня все-таки не убили, и я выжил, и теперь угрожают меня посадить.
His fears proved well-founded. On landing, Navalny was immediately arrested, and the trial sent him to a penal colony for violating the terms of his previous suspended sentence.
Не являются хозяевами нашей страны и никогда не будут являться. И огромное количество людей, десятки миллионов людей согласны со мной.
In March 2022, he was sentenced to an additional 9 years at the penal colony, where he endured repeated spells in solitary confinement. His lawyer said he was denied adequate medical care and his health deteriorated. All the while, Alexei Navalny called on his supporters and fellow Russians to denounce Putin's war on Ukraine in defiance of a government ban on protests. The Kremlin responded by intensifying its crackdown on dissenting voices, sending hundreds to prison or forced exile. With the death of the figurehead of the Russian opposition, the movement itself is on the verge of extinction.